Okay. The students at Kate's school like you to meet Kuba. We've seen him on 2 cruises. He's marvelous, and the music's different enough that I thought you'd be really fascinated to see some of his work. Your teacher is John Kawnik, my son-in-law. We're really proud of him, and we think this guy's making it for some things.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your pictures. Thank you. Appreciate it. As soon as I keep this pedal, we have a long note. Last I show you a little trick, the second pedal. Since my instrument is actually relatively small, it has only 3 octaves. Then if I want to expand my octaves, I have a second pedal, and I'll show you a little trick. When I want to play simple melody, and I don't have any other notes, but as soon as I keep this pedal, I'll show you the trick. Very tricky. So very, very helpful. This pedal is to edit lots of programming. If my instrument doesn't behave very well, I just have to kind of put him down. How many sounds I have? I have literally hundreds of different sounds. There are some of them my very favorite sounds. And I was playing the other day, I was playing the very first sound I was presenting you was a flute. You remember, right? But now, if I want to play, if I want to turn any sound and play anything, it sometimes won't sound like certain instrument. For instance, if I just want to play, it doesn't really sound like flute. But you have to know that if you play a flute, you can only play the one single melody on a flute. One flute, right? So you can play just literally one mallet, and then it's going to sound like flute. Sounds better? Yeah. Let's go to organ sound. I was playing the other day the Toccata and Fuga by Bach, and some people really like it. They say I should play the whole tune. So I'll play a little bit more for you if you like. I would like you to try to imagine that now you are in a cathedral hall, and you have a big organ. And by the way, I don't know if you're aware of that organ is actually the instrument which has the highest range, from the very, very low notes to very, very high notes. My instrument has only 3, but if I use all of my pedals, it sounds a bit more realistic. So I want you to enjoy a little bit of Bach right now, and here is the toccata. Thank you so much. Well, maybe I should play a little bit different instrument, and I'd like to do like a little experiment. I've never done it before, but since we have Martin with us today, I'm going to try to show you another sound which I really like to play, and I actually developing a very new for vibraphone players, new technique on this instrument, playing instrument, banjo. So I have to make sure that I have to do it right, so it really sounds realistic. And fortunately for me, I live in Nashville, Tennessee, have lots of bluegrass and country music, lots of banjo players, so I work with them a lot. I ask them to come and just show me how to play banjo, so I can literally imitate them and do it on my vibraphone. And the banjo is actually, I really like this sound. I'd like to show you. Maybe Martin will help me. Let's imagine that Martin actually has a banjo. So if you hold the banjo right now, I would like you to give me just a simple chord. Now on 3/4, I'd like to just play one beautiful chord for these people. Ready? 3, 4. Very nice. I want to just look at him. Okay. One more time. Let's do just 2 chords. Ready? 3, 4. That's right. Now I want you to do a little bit for me, if you don't mind. Okay, ready? 3, 4. I hope it sounds real, right? So it's a lot of work. Actually, I have to make sure that every banjo player uses the same. It's a lot of work for me. Using these 4 mallets, you should see my blisters on my fingers. It's just not easy sometimes, but it's a nice effect. The wooden flute, and that was the only one instrument which actually I can handle. And then I was playing violin, piano, drums, guitar, and then vibraphone, discovered vibraphone, xylophone, vibraphone, lots of percussion instruments, and then the Theremen one day, and then one day I was playing concerts on, believe it or not, on the hand saw. Yeah, it's a very fun instrument, and a few others like harmonica and the different instruments. But yes, sir.
Tell us about your instrument. You manufactured it. How was it sampled for the sound?
Yeah.
What are the sounds you can do?
The question is who makes this instrument? What kind of sounds source I use in this instrument? This is, like I said, very small instrument. It comes from United States. Is produced in Maine, United States. They only make maybe 100 per year the most. Yes, sir.
Who manufactures it?
It's a company. I was going to say it's a company called Alternate Mode. Alternate Mode, and this instrument is actually available on internet. If you like to buy it, you just have to go to. Obviously, you can't buy it in any music store. You have to buy it online on internet. It's www.alternatemode.com. You can order this instrument, and sometimes they come with sound or without sound. This instrument, actually, I use the sound module which is next to it. This is literally a heart of this instrument because it has all sounds inside. And this is actually made by Roland, which is a very big company, and I particularly like very much Roland sound, so I use this sound module this is Roland. And one day it happened that I was flying out of Tel Aviv, and this small instrument, which is heart of my instrument, I keep in my hand luggage. And in Tel Aviv, there's very high security level, so they took it away from me. They said, "You are not going to fly with this." I said, "Why? This is my instrument." I said, no, it's suspicious to us. You're going to fly, and this instrument will fly after you the next flight tomorrow morning, so you will see it tomorrow, but today we can't fly with this. And actually it happened that this instrument never flew the next day. I saw it 3 weeks later in Nashville, Tennessee. But unfortunately I was going to the cruise ship, and I had to play my concert. So what am I going to do now if I don't have a heart of my instrument? Fortunately, they had the Roland keyboard on board, like a piano keyboard. So I spent 3-4 hours just programming and put all of the sounds from the keyboard to my instrument, and that way I could just play. the show.
Amazing.
Thank goodness. Any other question? maybe I'll tell a little bit how I started my music education. Nobody, but this is another question I usually get, nobody in my family is a professional musician. As a matter of fact, nobody is a musician in my family. I'm the only one. But what happened when I was born and raised in Poland, and that time was still very deep socialist in Poland. But in the kindergarten, when I was in kindergarten, they took some teachers came from music school, and they were organizing sort of like auditions. And they were just trying to check if their children talented artistically, not only musically, but artistically. And I was one of them, apparently. So they called my father right away, and they told him that he should keep eyeing me just to put me in music school, maybe because I might have some musical talent. And I have to tell you, my father had a great passion for music. He wasn't a professional musician, he never had the chance to study. However, he was playing guitar. He just taught himself how to play guitar. And that's how it started. So he put me in music school, but before when he discovered that I was 4 years old, I have a musical talent, he went to the library, like the store, to the bookstore, and bought lots of music books. So he not only was teaching himself music, but also he taught me music. And in the age of 4 or 5, I was pretty much ready to read music. So when I went to school in the age of 7, I was really bored because they already started and I already knew them. So thank God to my father who actually put me in the music school. He passed away, by the way, a few years ago. But I play music. I always think about him. So all because of my father. Any other questions? Or should I play? Maybe I have some requests. Maybe somebody would like. I think some gentlemen wanted me to play some song because I invited you fast. Thank you so much. I'm sorry? How many songs do I know? Well, it's actually hard to say because when we study music, obviously we play some classical music, and then when I started switch from classical to jazz music, which I actually went to my town in Poland, went south of Poland, studied different town, I really learned lots of standards, like Misty is one of them. So you just play and you learn so many songs, every week like 10 different songs to play, and so you can imagine if you learn 10 songs a week, how many songs you can. Of course, we still use charts because if you just tell me play, for example, some tune I could remember if I open the chart. I can just play. Yes. The electromagnetic field is converted in the transistors to a sound wave. That's what you hear. Thank you very much. Merci. Interesting, huh?
So you have perfect pitch?
Almost. That's a good question. Yeah, I usually have this question. I have almost perfect pitch to the point that they were doing some tests in Poland. They took the most talented children from the school with the highest pitch. That was one of them. They took me and they were testing
I
out.
figured they must have come up with something like that to even a pitch.
Yeah, you have to have a pretty good pitch to play Theremin. It's like a violin. You play, you have to find a note and